Okay, kids, it's time for another episode of the Fueled by Weird podcast, the only podcast in training to become a master builder. I'm Chris Daly, and today I have the pleasure of chatting with Art and Jen Miner, the owners of Bricks and Minifigs in Idaho Falls. Guys, how are you doing today?
Doing really good.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we finally were able to make this happen. It's been almost a year that we've been trying to make this happen, but I'm so glad we finally got it to work.
Yeah. We're grateful for you. Thanks for doing it.
Absolutely. Anytime. Okay, so I usually like to kick these things off with an icebreaker question, even though, over the last almost year, we've gotten to know each other a little bit, but I still like to throw these out there just for fun. So today's icebreaker question is, what's the most recent picture on your phone and why is it there?
That's a great question. I like that. Let me go see.
Look.
While you're look
That's a really good one. I like it
while
actually.
you're looking, I'll start with mine. I usually let you guys go first, but I'll start with mine this time. Mine is a picture of the book I just started. It's called The Mortal Engines. It's book one in the series. It's a book I've always kind of wanted to read, but I'm finally getting around to reading it. And I just usually just take a picture and then I share it on social media. I haven't quite done it yet, but that's the most recent picture on my phone.
The book
Sec-
about.
Yeah, what is it about?
I don't know really.
Curious. Okay.
Okay.
I've just heard it's really good. I don't really know what it's about. I'm only like one chapter in, so I can't really tell you yet. But
All right.
yeah, I've heard it's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They should let us know. Art's more of a reader than me. I read sometimes, but he reads a lot. So
I used to read so much that that's pretty much all I did in my spare time was read. And I was like, well, if I want to do other stuff, I need to not read so much. So I had to dial it back a little. I think I got like almost 200 books in a year a couple of years ago. It
wow.
was just crazy. So yeah,
Favorite
I
author?
favorite author. It's hard to say because a lot of the books I read were comic books, like graphic
Oh,
novels.
Mhm.
okay.
Um, but there's a series I really like called Skullduggery Pleasant. It's about it has a lot of magic stuff, but it's about skeleton detective. That's kind of cool.
Cool.
Um,
That's cool.
Rick Riordan actually is another one I really like too. I've read a lot of the Percy Jackson books. I've read
Sweet.
almost all of the second series after the Percy Jackson books. They're pretty good. They're just very, very long books to read because they're very
Yeah.
fat books. But yeah, they're good. Those are probably two off the top of my head.
That's
Sweet.
cool. Awesome. You want to go first?
You can go
I'm
first.
ready.
Okay.
So I took this picture this morning. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it
Oh,
back a little
yep.
bit. It's a picture of my kid. He loves huskies, and I took a picture of him sleeping. A little bit of a creeper, but like, when you're a mom and you have a baby, even if
Nope.
he's 11, you're like, oh man, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So that was the most recent picture I took.
I totally get it because just the other morning when I was waking up, Gracie's little sister, I went to wake her up and she was just like perched back on her pillow like this. It was really funny how she was laying. So I'm like, I have to take a picture of that. So yeah,
It's so
I
cool.
totally get it. You kind of just that never it never stops being something that you want to do regardless of how old they are. Because just sometimes it's just crazy how they sleep sometimes.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
I can't even tell you all the crazy positions I've seen Gracie sleep in. So
We won't embarrass her about it.
I have a really funny one from when she was like 6 or 7. I'll have to show you guys next time I'm in the store because it's so funny.
Yeah, and I guess we should tell your people that Gracie's one of our employees. She works here.
Yes, my oldest
Yeah.
daughter works for Art and Jen, and it's her first real job, like real official tax paying job, and she has a great time. She loves it
Yeah.
very, very
We love
much.
her. She's so fun and she's so creative. She's really, really good.
She
It's a joy to have her.
she's an exciting kid, never makes things boring.
She's great at the birthday parties.
Oh my gosh, her the people that come to birthday parties, they love Gracie because she's
Really?
so animated and she's like can get on the level of the kids and like
Oh
talk to
yeah.
them like they're real humans and it's so cool. We love
And
Gracie.
it's funny because all of her sister's friends love her. Like they love Gracie so much. And like we can't ever figure out why. Sometimes they'll like Gracie more than they'll like her sister. And we
Sure.
just say that it's, because Gracie's kind of like a real life cartoon character.
She really is. Her
And
cool hair.
she's
Actually,
like,
I made her as a minifig.
ah, that's funny. I'll have to tell her.
Yeah.
That's
She
awesome.
doesn't like, she wouldn't like the pink pants, but I feel like she's gonna be in her pink era soon.
I
Maybe.
maybe she's been real big into black and white for a super long time
Yeah,
and checkers.
that's
So
true.
she's in black and white probably almost all the time.
That's awesome. She's got great style. What
But
about
yeah,
your
she
picture? What have you got?
I have a minifig picture, of course. Princess Leia.
nice. Very
I was
It's,
cool.
building a sail barge last
you
night.
should
I
show
wanted
them
to
which
go
one it
back and
is.
look through all the
Is
old
that
ones.
inappropriately?
Yeah, I don't know. Slave Leia. Nice
Nice.
job at sail barge. Had to go back and see all the versions of her.
Very cool.
There's been 5 of them.
Five of
Yes.
Slave Leia?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
That is
Hey,
insane.
that actually reminds me, I'm several minifig pictures behind, so I need to go take some and share them on social media because
Yeah, you should.
I'm looking at my giant pile from bricks and minifigs right here on my desk that I haven't shared yet that I need to because they're pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Great. She keeps
Especially,
her eyes open for you.
oh
Yeah,
my
she
God,
does. She's
all
like,
the
my dad
time.
would love that.
All the time. She's like, "Do you want this?" And I'm like, "What is it?" And she's like, "Oh, I need to send you a picture." I'm like, "Well, yeah, you probably do." And then I just look at the picture. I'm like, "Yeah, I need that one." So yeah, I think she's got a few on hold for me right now, actually, that I'm probably going to pick up this next weekend when we go for her sister's birthday,
Oh,
which is
that's right.
it's funny because her sister was like, "I want you to work my birthday." Like,
Oh.
well, you don't want me to be there? Like, I want you to be there, but you need to work for my birthday. I was like, "Oh, okay." Little slave girl
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Uh,
this is one of my favorite new ones that I got.
Oh,
sweet.
I think you were there, Art, when I got this one. It's the Clock King from Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow. That's a
it's
cool
not
pick.
coming in very well,
Awesome
but
headpiece.
Yeah.
yeah, it's super rad.
Is it a clock?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Actually, that's a lie.
See?
My favorite one, I didn't even know these were a thing, but I got it on the same day I got the Clock King, and I don't even know if it'll come in,
Is
but
that a
Batman.
mini Batman?
it's Ant-Man and it's not
Yeah.
coming in very well. But
We can see him.
I didn't even know these were a thing. There we
There
go.
you
Right.
go.
And
So
when I
cool.
saw them, I'm like, oh man, I have to have one of those.
Yeah, take up
I
less
didn't,
space. You could have more.
Yeah.
I
Don't
didn't
sneeze or
even,
you lose it.
I know, right? But I didn't even know that was a thing. So I'm like, I have to
Oh my
have that.
God.
Because
Oh,
some people will collect specific series of minifigs. Some people will collect, certain brands or whatever. But me, I just like to collect the mostly I like to collect the weird ones. So if it's like
Okay.
a weird or peculiar one, or actually that's not entirely true as I look at a lot of my villain Lego minifigs right now, and it's just a bunch of weird off ones. But yeah, if it's kind of a weird or eccentric one, or if it's Green Lantern specifically, because I love Green Lantern a whole bunch and I have almost all of them.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, I just little weird ones like that are kind of uncommon or ones I kind of like to pick up. So that's just how my weird fandom brain works.
I love it. It's great.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right, so another thing I want to talk about, just because it's almost that time of year where we're coming up on Thanksgiving. So I want to ask you guys, you go to Thanksgiving dinner, wherever it might be, you sit down at the table and you get ready to start dishing yourself up a plate. What is your very first go-to food, your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
You get to go first this time.
I'm all about the turkey.
Ooh,
I love it.
nice.
He eats
Very nice.
turkey like even when it's not Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He will purposefully make Thanksgiving dinner because he loves it
Nice.
so much.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he makes good turkey and Thanksgiving dinner. He's like a really good cook.
That's awesome. I've never been a huge fan of turkey until
Mm.
my dad, he made this turkey. I don't know, I still don't know his secret, but it was the best turkey I've ever had in my entire life. And I was like, oh man, if turkey would have been made like this for me as a kid, I would have loved turkey so much.
Yeah, it's a good source of protein.
Yeah, I don't know what he did or what magic he did, but it was so good.
That's awesome. I like
Yeah.
to make a pile. Like I'll do mashed potatoes, then I'll do my turkey and my stuffing, and then my gravy, and then I'll just like do like a garnish of like corn usually. But
Nice.
I'm definitely a mix up my food on my plate person because it's all going to the same place anyway.
Ah,
But
you're one of
yeah,
those
I
people.
I love that. And then I won't eat very much of it. I usually save it, and so I work on my Thanksgiving pile. But I have to tell you this cool trick we learned.
Okay.
One of my best friends from Indiana, she told us you like the next day after Thanksgiving, you get it's like Bisquick
Pillsbury crescent
Pillsbury
rolls,
crescent
the
rolls.
refrigerated ones.
Yes. And you open them up on the tray and then you put little scoops of like mashed potatoes, turkey, stuffing, and gravy. And then you just roll them up and then you cook them. And then you have like, we call them, what are they like Thanksgiving roll-ups or something?
Yeah.
But oh
Oh,
my
that's
gosh, they're
cool.
so good.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
heard something about that kind of, except you take like the mashed potatoes and put them in like a waffle iron. So you make like waffle mashed potatoes and then you just like put on
What?
like the turkey and the stuffing and whatever else, and then you make sandwiches with waffle mashed potatoes. And I was like,
That
oh
sounds
man,
so good. We're coming to
right?
your house for leftovers, Chris. That's
I've
awesome.
I've never done it. I just heard and it sounds kind of rad, and that's something I've kind of wanted to try, but I've just never been brave enough to do it.
You should do it this time. Do like a tutorial for your podcast.
Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That's a great question. I love it.
All right,
What about
well,
you?
my favorite is probably the stuffing for
Oh,
sure. I'm a sucker for stuffing, but it has to be. I mean, it can be the stovetop stuffing. I'm perfectly fine with that, but it has to be not overcooked. So if it's all mushy, then yeah, like, I'm
Mhm.
out. But it has to have like a little bit of like the crunch to it.
ooh.
Then I'm all in. That's
Do
my
you put
that's
mushrooms in your stuffing?
No, I'm not a big fan of mushroom. I
Me
think
neither.
if you put it in there and didn't tell me, I'd probably not even notice. But if I knew it was in there, I'm not doing it. But yeah, if just stuffing since I was a kid, stuffing and potatoes, I guess, are really kind of my big ones. But stuffing for sure is mine.
That's
It's my
awesome.
favorite.
We love stuffing.
It's so good. All right, so the whole concept of the fueled by a weird idea is basically, it's kind of like you're never I don't even know how to explain it. I've explained it like a whole bunch of times, but today I just can't think of it. Basically, just because you're grown up doesn't mean you can't enjoy the stuff you enjoyed when you were little. Just, there's no reason you can't still do it. So you kind of want to just keep that, the youth, the young part of you, help keep it who you are. And, all the hobbies and interests, the stuff that you're into, kind of what comes together to make you who you are. So what I want to know is what interests, what hobbies do you guys have? Obviously Legos, but in addition to Legos, what else do you guys like to do?
I get to go first this
Yeah.
time. I love if I could do anything all day, it would be make PowerPoints. And that sounds so weird, but like I get lost in design and I love to create graphics and I'm a wizard at Microsoft Paint. I'm really good at
Nice.
that. If you've ever used that program before.
Have. Mhm.
I also really like to hang out with my kid. He's probably my best hobby because he's so fun to hang out with and he likes to play games. What makes me weird is I'm super passionate about ways of making lives easier, like automating things. So like I like to find ways of helping people make their lives easier, but my recommendations are usually not very good. So depending on what it is, but I'm really interested in like technology like AI
Okay.
and seeing how it's changing the face of everything. So that's kind of my geek out side is how AI is really changing everything about what we do.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
All right, Art, what about you?
Legos, of course, but just that. Animals. I loved animals as a kid. I always dreamed of opening a pet shop,
Nice.
and it somehow ended up being a Lego shop. But
Yeah.
Hey, you got a bunch of animals in there, really technically. So
true.
Yes, we
in a
do.
But I
in a
love.
way, you kind of did both.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, I heard you guys got a pretty big influx of goats recently.
Oh, gosh.
Oh
Gra-
my God.
Gracie told us all about that. She's like, Jake sold 3 goats. We have 97 goats now.
Yes, goats are very rare Legos. And so if you want a goat, we have
We got
goats.
the goats.
We have the goats and they're the rare ones. They're the gray ones. So if you want a
Nice.
rare gray goat, come get one.
Because you got plenty of them.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually
Nice.
take trades. So people can bring their Lego in. Any Lego that you have, bring it in. We'll take a look at it. We'll take new in box that's retired. We'll take used. We'll take minifigs like this one I made of you, Chris.
Nice.
I know he has.
That actually looks a lot like one I made of myself, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I could
Yeah.
if I put his hat backwards, it covers up his eyes, but it's pretty close. Let's see yours.
Oop, now I
Oh,
totally just there we go. That was weird.
that's
It's
awesome.
not
Yeah, I
focusing
think we
very
actually have
good.
the same face we found. That's
It's
pretty
pretty
cool.
close. Yeah. It's got
Yeah,
a spotting scope for pirate, and he's kind of dressed up like a pirate, and he's got the black hat on.
I love that.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I'll save
awesome.
this one for you in Gracie's bin.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Art, I
Oh,
cut you off.
that's all right.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of did too.
So,
So animals,
animals, aquariums. I love fish. I love to snorkel.
nice.
Um, and Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo NES, and
Nice.
I'm still a gamer to this day. Legend of Zelda just keeps getting better and better.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them? That's fair. When I
Tears of
don't
the
game,
Kingdom. We just got through that. It was amazing.
nice. I I have so many games and I used to game a bunch and I don't make time for myself to game, which I would like to. And my wife actually gets after me like, why don't you had time right? You're not doing anything. Go play a video game. Like she'll have to like bully me into playing video games because I always talk about
Your
how I
wife
wish I
sounds
could play
great.
more. She's like, why don't you play then? There's no reason for you not to play. I'm encouraging you, which you don't hear a lot of wives do. Like a lot of wives are like, get off the game. And my wife's like, yeah, go play. But when I was growing up, my first machine was a Super Nintendo.
All right.
And one of my absolute favorite games of all time, still to this day, is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Nice.
It's one of my I've not really played any other Zelda games really, but I just really like that one a whole bunch. And Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo was a
Oh, yeah.
big
Who's your
favorite.
character?
Ken.
Oh,
Ken's
that's
my
yeah,
character.
Ken's a good
Yeah.
one.
I'm
I
Chun-Li. She's agile.
Nice. I have good memories of that game for back in the day when Smith's was still around and Smith's was 24 hours.
Hmm.
Um, they used to have arcade cabinets in the front, and when I would go shopping with my dad, we'd always stop and play video games. And sometimes it was Mortal Kombat, sometimes it was Street Fighter. But I remember he would beat me every single time. And then finally one day I beat him, and it was like the best day of my life.
That's
I was
awesome.
so excited. But yeah, so Street Fighter holds a special place in my heart because of that. But so yeah, Super Nintendo, I'm a big fan.
That's so cool.
What's really cool is you can play that stuff all the time at that new video game store
Oh
over
yeah,
by
yeah.
Leo's place. They have all those consoles set up. You pretty much any game you can imagine. It's so cool.
All
That's
that
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
because
cool.
sometimes you don't like if you want to keep and collect them at your house, it's nice that you can like go somewhere and play. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I have some set up upstairs and I have some console set up downstairs. And downstairs I have a switch where it's like an input switch for my TV. So like if I want to play the Wii, I just push this button and there's the input for the Wii. If I want to play like PlayStation 2, I push this other button and it switches to the PlayStation 2. So
Wow, that's cool.
that's
Nice.
really nerdy.
No, that makes it so easy. I love that. It's all about the automation, right? Making life
Well,
better.
yeah, kind of. And just I'm lazy and I don't want to have to reach behind the TV and
Oh,
switch out
yeah.
cords. So just keep all the cords plugged in at the same time. You just push the button, turn on the console, and there you go.
I love it.
Need to get one of those.
Yeah, that sounds great.
They're pretty cheap actually, and they work super, super good.
Nice.
Okay, so speaking of Lego, I kind of want to jump in the Wayback Machine and take a trip back to and this is a question for both of you. What was it, or when did you first get your introduction into Lego?
Ooh. It was probably 5 or 6, and my mom worked
Okay.
at a toy store and she brought one home. I think it was a little pirate ship, a little tiny buoy with a little pirate character.
Very cool.
I was all in after that. Just
That's
one.
awesome.
Then it was the King at Castles, and then I had a ton of pirate stuff.
I love pirate stuff, especially Lego pirate stuff, but pirates are a big thing for me. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
What about you?
Yeah, I never
Who's
played
your
with
brother?
Yeah, I mean, my brother had Lego and he had constructs and he had all those different like building things.
Hmm.
But I didn't actually build a Lego set until he bought me one. And I think it was one of the architecture sets.
Oh,
And I
nice.
started and I was like, man, this is like work. Like you have to like think about what you're doing. And he had to like finish pretty much he would like buy me a Lego and then he would build it and finish it. But it's funny, as soon as we got the store opened and I started to like see the new sets coming in, I started to be like, oh my gosh, I want to build that. And then now, like, I always have a build going at my kitchen table.
She's got a bigger backstock than me.
I do, because there's so many cool sets that I want to
Yeah,
build. There's so many cool sets. And darn it, Lego, if you could just slow down with making new Lego sets, it would make my life a lot easier. Because then I could do other stuff like clean my room, you
right.
know?
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I would just sit for hours. Like if you just buy me a set of Legos, I would just sit and I'd block out the entire world and just do Lego, and it was my favorite thing in the world. And like video games, I don't make enough time for myself to do Lego anymore. Matter of fact, I bought for my birthday for myself a couple years ago a big giant Lego pirate ship that I had been eyeballing
Ooh.
forever, and it's still in the box. Like I haven't even opened it. It's just been sitting here because
Wow.
I don't make the time for that stuff, which is awful because I need to. And I always complain I never have time for this stuff, but there's no reason to not have time. So my wife always bothers me. Like she'll be like, "Hey, you need to get after this Lego set or I'm gonna go take it to Gracie's work and trade it in." And I'm like, "Oh, you can't trade it in.
Yeah.
Love it so much." But it would be so cool if I would just sit down and do something with it. I just don't make the time for it. But it's a really cool set though. It's like one of those, I think it's one of those 3-in-1s. It's like it's a
Wow.
big pirate set, and then you can switch it to a couple of different things. But yeah, it's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
You got to
I
make
just
it like a
need
family night. That's what we do is everybody gets their own set or we all work on one together.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, see,
way to spend with family. It's hard
Harper,
enough with
Gracie's
kids.
little sister, she loves that idea. My wife, I don't think she's as keen on that idea. And Gracie, now this is a secret that I'll probably get in trouble for sharing,
Uh-oh.
but Gracie loves putting Legos together, but after it's put together, she's like, I don't want this. I just want
No,
to
we
put it,
love it.
she just wants to put it together, and then she's like, hey,
Yeah, she's a builder. That's
yeah,
so
she's
cool.
once it's built, like she just wants to get rid of it. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah. We have
I
a lot of random Gracie builds around here.
yeah, I'm sure
And they're so cool. They're so creative.
I've heard about her house a whole bunch.
That's so
Um,
cool.
She's getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
yeah,
She
she
built
said,
all of our holiday things
yeah,
and
she's like, I've been
Halloween
trying to
stuff.
put lights on that house and I just can't figure out how to do it, but I'm gonna do it, dang it. I'm gonna Christmasify my house.
Christmas fun.
She's so excited to make
He's
it Christmas.
awesome.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing about it is she doesn't have to bring it home, and I think that's why she likes it so much. Just because she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have it. I want people to pay me just to put their Lego sets together and then they can just have it. And which I know she kind of already does anyway with Tamra.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah,
a customer. She
yeah.
works on Target axe throwing that local.
Her daughter owns it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We love that she does that.
her
That's
daughter's
awesome.
a good friend of ours. And yeah, she's like, "Oh, Gracie will do that? Awesome." So yeah, Gracie likes it because she gets to see all the brand new sets, but she's like, "Yeah, after I build it, I don't want to have it. I just want to see the set." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. That works, I guess."
Yeah, there's all kinds of people that like Lego for different reasons. That's a great way to be.
It's true. So, uh speaking of Legos again, do you guys have a favorite set, a favorite series? Let's talk about that.
Mhm.
You go first this time.
There's so many to pick from.
Oh, so many.
I guess we could even say favorite genre if that makes it easier.
As a kid, I always wanted the space monorail. It was this
Oh,
huge
nice.
set. It was like $200 back in the 80s, so it would have been like $1,000 in today's money. And I asked for it every Christmas, and I never
I
got it.
couldn't afford it. Like it was so
I was
expensive.
even before you. It was like
I
for my
know.
mom. It's
Yeah.
like I
When you
wanted it
wanted
every
it
year.
again, yeah.
Probably asked 5 years in a row for it from
Yeah.
Santa. Never got it. And then as an older adult, my mom bought it off eBay and gave it to me one year for
Yeah,
Christmas.
because I
That's
couldn't afford
awesome.
it
I
for him, so
have
his
it.
mom got it
That's
for him.
awesome.
I have my set that I always wanted.
Yeah, it's
Haven't
not
got
coming
it.
in the
It's
store.
amazing. You set it up, it takes up the whole dining room table.
Oh, wow.
It's a
That's
cool
awesome.
set. It really is. Mine's probably I recently built the chrysanthemum, the botanical, and it was because when you put the pot together, it's in a very unconventional way to put pieces together to like join the pot, and the way that it puts together is so satisfying. And then you put each individual little flower petal on, and when it's done, it looks so real. So I love the botanicals. And I recently started to get in more to the art. Like I'm building the Mona Lisa right now. And it's
Oh,
really fun
nice.
because they include like this little QR code with like a podcast that you can listen to while you build.
That's
And that
cool.
makes it like
It's a good
super immersive.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally an experience because you feel like you're there and you understand why the background is the way it is and why this piece is this color. And it's really a cool way to build Lego. I really like it.
That's
What about
awesome.
you?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I think the Starry, like kind of like what you said about the art, the Starry Night one's a really cool one that I've kind of just looked at. I just saw the Adam West Batmobile in your
Oh
guys' store
yeah.
recently.
So cool.
I didn't even know that was a thing, and I
Awesome.
think that's super rad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Anything pirate usually is pretty good for me. Superhero is probably pretty good for me too. Um, I had one when I was younger that I really liked, but I don't remember what it was called, but it was a space one. It was like a big space vehicle, had a bunch of the round wheels on it. It was just like a space rover, but it was
Ooh.
humongous and you could take it apart and mix it. It was almost like another like a three-in-one where you could put it together different ways, but it was one of my favorite Legos as a kid. But yeah, just kind of those ones like the Batmobile or like the Hulkbuster Iron Man, just seeing all the new ones like that, I think is whatever that line is, just seeing all the new ones they come out with it, like, oh, that could never be a Lego. Like there it is, like the Lego Optimus
Yeah.
Prime is super
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Actually transforms.
It really does.
Does it really? Ah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
so rad.
And the Bumblebee does too. We don't have any Optimus Primes right now, but we do have a Bumblebee
That's
in
so
stock.
cool.
It's so cool.
That's awesome. I
Favorite
think
place to hang out in the store, minifig wise, is Big Kid Bricks. I'm sure you've seen the plate.
yeah.
But
Oh
it's
yeah.
all the stuff that Lego doesn't really do, or
Uh
that they do better than Lego.
hmm
Like all the pop culture,
He's
horror.
excited.
It's just great. It's fun to hang out with people and just talk about this plate because
Oh yeah, that's
good
my wife's
goodies on it.
favorite. The one with all the horror Lego minifigs on there, that's
Oh yeah.
that's my wife's favorite one.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
Gracie actually part of her job is to manage that plate. So
Yeah.
she gets to like own like figuring out where she's gonna put each fig and like the restock of it. And we love how she's like passionate about these characters and she knows who they are.
She
Oh
lets
yeah,
us know who to
it's
order, like
Yeah.
what's requested.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
because of her mom. Her mom has given her a really good education on horror icons. So she's well versed in horror for
Please
sure.
tell your wife we appreciate her knowledge. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely.
Mm.
Um, those ones are fun. It's fun to see the people who make the ones that Lego just hasn't or won't make. Um, some of them I would like to argue the fact that they don't quite look like they're supposed to. I
Hmm.
Yeah.
think my
Hmm.
favorite one that tried to look like someone that was very off the mark was the Macho Man Randy Savage one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just because that one, it has like the cardstock picture where it shows the Macho Man, but then you look at the minifig, I'm like, oh, that looks nothing even close to the picture. But you guys, that's an A for effort, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But a
sometimes they
lot
look
of
kind of weird.
a lot of those are really, really good though.
Like
Yeah.
beef
Very
up the
impressed.
arms for a wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really true. But the cool thing about those are actually all Lego pieces, like the torsos, the legs. And if it's an accessory that Lego makes, then they just paint over it, not like paint, but like they have a
Yeah.
whole process that they use. And so it's nice that it's still authentic Lego, but it's just like printed,
Some of the Lego will never do.
customized.
You're never
Yeah,
gonna get a
yeah,
horror character in Lego.
yeah. You won't get that Joker with the green hair. Is that the Joker? I don't know.
Nurse Joker.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Probably won't ever get a Nurse Joker, but
Wish
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, this is the other plate. Yeah, I've been sitting here looking at it like, whoa, that is crazy.
Oh, yep, that was actually the next one I was going to talk about because Gracie's been telling me about the Power Ranger minifigs.
Oh yeah.
She got me the Green Ranger actually, and I told her that
Nice.
Is that your
it
favorite
was
Ranger?
Green Ranger.
the green one slash the white one because it's the same person.
Jason? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the blue one.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I was
My favorite
big.
was Trini,
Oh
or
man.
Kimberly being the
Okay.
Pink Ranger. She
Yeah.
definitely.
I
I'm
I
still
was a
Power Ranger. Sorry.
no,
They're
it's
so
totally cool. I was
very
huge
old.
Power Ranger nerd when I was a kid. Huge, huge, huge Power Ranger nerd to the point where one time it was the one where they were revealing that Jason was the White Ranger.
Oh,
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen a show that was like 40 years ago. But um I wasn't gonna be home, so I'm like, Mom, I will do anything if you record this for me so I can watch it later.
VHS.
Oh yeah, VHS. Yep. And I
Awesome.
would say most people watching this are going to be like, "What's that?" But I've seen the core demographics for this show, and it's people in their mid to late 30s, so they're all going to know what VHSs are. So it's
Oh
fun.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
It's fun.
totally. That's so cool.
Gracie barely knows what a VHS is, but I don't think she's ever watched one.
Yeah. I don't know if my kids watched one, maybe.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that her sister has no idea. But it's just funny telling kids about like
They have it so easy.
telling kids about, going to grab snacks on commercial break or going to the bathroom and trying to fit all of that into commercial. They're like, why don't you just pause it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or using pliers to change the channel.
Yep.
We
Yep.
had to do that.
I've done that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Good times. Man, we're so old.
We are so old. Mm.
Okay, so I kind of want to pivot a little bit now to talk about, what was it that led you turning your hobby or your interest in Lego into your business?
Hmm. You want to talk about that?
Sure, I can talk about it.
Okay.
So, we used to live in a house that was, we had a basement that Arthur finished all by himself. He's also very handy. Like he actually put all these slot walls on the walls here at Bricks
Nice.
Minifigs, and he built
Very
all of
cool.
the fixtures by hand. Everything you see in here, he built himself.
Nice.
And so when he finished our basement, he made it in a way so he could have enough space for his Lego. So we had like, I don't know, 12 bookshelves downstairs, and they're just like bookshelf, bookshelf, bookshelf. And so our whole basement turned into Legos. And every holiday, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? And he's like, Legos or fish for his fish tank that he used to have. And so we got so many Legos. It was just like, we have no more space for Legos. So now what are we going to do? And he was working for an insurance company, or he was selling insurance. And he was like not a happy person.
No, it was rough.
Yeah. And like the stress was affecting his health because he was dealing with different topics with people, and it was really hard for him to handle those calls.
It's people losing their insurance. So I had to help them find new insurance, and it
Oh,
was
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I used to have friends that, well, we're not friends anymore, but they still work in the insurance. They take calls on claims all the time, especially like during the hurricane season where, people would call in and talk about all the damage. And I remember them telling stories about how mentally taxing it was to just listen to their stories and like trying to tell
Yeah.
them like, hey, sorry, we're not gonna be able to cover the damage for this. And it's just heartbreaking. So I can absolutely imagine that that's gotta take a toll on you.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was actually hurting his eyes. The stress was causing his eyes to struggle. And so we're like, we have to figure something out. And we knew about this brand, Bricks and Minifigs, and we were super impressed by the way that they did it. We like that they care about the experience that people have when they come in here. And he's been a huge fan of Bricks and Minifigs forever. And so we looked into the options, and this territory up here was just like available. And the brand was growing so fast that we were really worried that it was going to be a territory that wasn't going to be available soon. So we contacted the franchise and we said, hey, we'd really like to open one up here in Idaho, and Idaho Falls or Pocatello or Rexburg. Like we weren't sure where we were going to put it, but when we found out about it, he was working. He's like, I can't do a full-time job and also
Run a store.
run a store because
Sure.
it's hard. Like I have a full-time job and I have to also do all the marketing and all the like the videos on our social media. If you look at our social media, I do like 100% of the editing and the graphics. All of it is me, and it's a lot to work full time. But
You
so
do a
he got
great
to quit his
job, by the
job.
way.
Oh, thank you.
Very good.
It's
Yeah,
that's my PowerPoint quirk. Like that's my weird, and it's good because I can
there you
use it
go.
in a way that can get people in the store. But
Yeah.
yeah, he got to quit his job, and he quit, I think, last October,
Yeah.
November. And he like full time started, he was like plating minifigs. He was washing Lego in our washing machine in like these bags. And like
Yeah.
one of the bags broke
Oh
and
no.
like the Lego was everywhere in our washing machine. And it was like,
Clean out the pump.
yeah, it was really, really
Oh
bad. But
gosh.
Legos all the time, coming and going into our house. But he got to work on getting ready full time and got to quit his job. So it's nice seeing the person you love so happy and like being able to live his passion is nice. Because then it's like if I want to do something that's my passion, I can be like, yeah, well, you have a Lego store. So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. It's a good trade-off, but
Yeah.
it is fun. Like I've really enjoyed doing it. It's been a really fun experience to go through this process. It's been really fast, but it's been good. Do you have anything to add?
Covered it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it happened. We just he needed a life change and we thought, well, why would you go back into another job where you're just not happy? Why not do like life is so short. It's like you should always work on something that you're passionate about. Even if it's not your full-time job, like we don't have much time on this earth, so why not do Legos? Like why not have a toy store?
Yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. There's only so much time here. Why spend it being completely miserable when you could be doing something that you're enjoy, that you're having fun doing, and it's something you like doing. So that's very cool.
Good job. I'm glad you have your dream.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. So you guys, over this last year, almost year, have held a ton of great events, including, the D&D tournament, or not the tournament, but the D&D game that I was lucky enough to take part of, and it's
Yes.
such a fantastic time. Um, how do you guys come up with all of these ideas?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, that's actually the beauty and the benefit of a franchise. People actually think of franchises just like a big box corporate store that is owned and run by them, but it's actually it's nice because they can give us ideas and suggestions and resources, but
Hmm.
like we actually get to decide what we want to do and when we want to do it. And so with this event, it was one that it was like a corporate sponsored event where they said, you have people sign up. Like they sent us like the cool die. Did you get one of the
I
dice?
did. Hmm.
So cool. And like
Very.
to be able to provide that stuff is really helpful for us because we don't have to worry about some of those details. And that does free us up to be able to focus on, ordering new inventory or cleaning our Legos or giving our people one-on-ones. So like that's the cool part about a franchise is that we get resources that like vendors and access to things like those event plans that we can then execute on without having to do a whole lot of planning. So when we pay a franchise fee, it's like a one-time fee and we're in. And then
That's
it's
cool.
like, even though it's a franchise in a big box, it's actually great because that means we don't have to worry about all the things like planning those types of events. But a lot of this stuff we come up with on our own. Some of
Other
the,
stores too.
yeah,
Like there's over 150
yeah,
Bricks Minifigs
yeah,
now. We have access to all the owners, so we all talk,
yeah,
brainstorm together to find out what's going
yeah.
to be the best.
Like one of the locations came up with this idea. It was like a refillable bulk tub. And they're like, ever since we started offering this, like we cannot keep our bulk in stock. So we're like, let's do that. And so like we don't ever have to like come up with our own ideas. We can actually ask the network of people and be like, what did you do about that? Or how can I up this, particular product? Or how can I draw attention to this thing? And so actually slightly regretting this now because of the level of deal it is, but we can't keep our bulk in stock because it's only $25. I mean, it's a huge, like it's as
Yeah.
big as his head,
Yeah.
but It's $25 and then you can refill it for $15 until December 31st of 2025. So it's
Yeah.
like a year and a half of bulk. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool thing because
Very popular.
yeah, we have people coming in every day filling up their bulk tubs, but it's a good deal.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
actually been really, really fun having those options for us from the franchise.
That's really cool. And going back to the D&D thing, it was really cool because, I myself haven't really had a chance to play D&D since, and I'm going to date myself, since 2002 when I was a senior in high school. But it
That's
it
cool.
was it was fun getting back into it. It's hard to find people. Everybody wants to play D&D, but no one wants to be the dungeon master or the storyteller. And that's what's hard to find, is someone who'll do that. So it's like, hey, we've got this for you right now. So come and play, because we found a storyteller that needs people to play. And it took a little bit of encouragement from Tamara's daughter's boyfriend, Bryson, who was there. And Gracie, of course, is like, hey, you should come play. Hey, you should come play. Hey, you should come play. Are you gonna come play? So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll come play. And it was really fun. It was a good time. It was a little bit of an adjustment because like I said, I haven't played for a long time, so I kind of forgot how some of the stuff works. But it was fun, and hopefully we do that again sometime, because that was really cool.
Yeah,
Think they did confirm that we did break the world record for the largest
We did, really?
connected
tabletop playing game.
tabletop
Yeah,
game.
that's
So you're
Yeah.
part of a world
awesome.
record, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I was
Yeah.
wondering about that because we got like the certificates that we participated, but I didn't really know that we if we broke the record or not. So that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
awesome.
finally got the stamp approval.
Yeah. It's like a
That's
process, I guess. You have to like go through all these
Oh, I'm
things
sure.
when you're getting a world record, but
Because I know
yeah.
Nicole was like, all right, we have to break right now because we have to wait for this and we have to report the numbers at this time. And she was very professional. She kept us all on track. It was very cool.
Good.
I can't tell you, our team is like the coolest team ever. We have such great camaraderie between all of us, and they're so talented. And I love the fact that we can have like, I think we have nine, we have eight people and nine with art, obviously, but
Employees.
it's amazing to see people like Gracie and Nicole who are given these opportunities and they're like how they are becoming like these really cool adults with what they're doing or young adults.
Yeah.
It's really, really awesome. And you're right, Nicole killed it. Like she had all the things printed out. She cut out the little standees. She had her little agenda, and then she had like the chat and the spreadsheet. Like it was a lot of work, but she really did a great job. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
She kept us on track, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun day for
I'm
sure.
glad you came. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming and doing that. When I saw you coming, I was
absolutely.
like, yes, he came. It's
Oh
awesome.
man. It was hard getting out of my introverted, not want to leave the
Yeah.
house bubble, because ever since COVID, that's kind of been a thing for me. Is I used to not have a problem going out and like talking to people and stuff, but I've been kind of a little bit more reserved. And my wife is to the point now where she's like, you need to go and hang out with people because you just need to get out of the house and go do something. And I'm like, all my stuff's here. It's nice and
My
comfortable.
snacks.
I don't have to put shoes on. So why would I want to leave?
Oh, that's so
All
funny.
my stuff is here. But it's fun getting out and doing stuff with people, and that was a really cool way to kind of get me out of my bubble and get me to do stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, we'll
Good.
probably have more
Definitely will.
D&D events, just like local store events, not like all the other stuff, but
Franchise
like
ones.
local
That's
people.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And Mike, I think his name was Mike.
Oh, Matt Cronister.
Matt, yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
was
he's amazing.
he was real good with what he did. He said he hadn't also done that since like 96, which I thought I didn't want to believe him, because he did a pretty good job for not doing this for as long as you say you
Yeah.
have.
He's so talented. He's a
Yeah.
builder too. He likes to build and he's so creative. It's
I
awesome.
know he put a lot of time in getting ready for it because
Yes,
he
he
was
did.
rusty.
Yeah,
But
but he
he
no,
did
he
good.
rocked it. And
Yeah.
He did
everybody
good.
that left were like, that was really good. Like our DM was awesome. I was like, yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, and I didn't play at the other table, but just overhearing them, that other
Yeah.
kid that did it, he was pretty good too.
Yeah, the chainmail.
Yeah.
So he got totally into it and I
He
loved it.
got way in.
So
He
good.
did voices and all that stuff. He was incredible.
So cool. I love when people can be themselves and just like, let loose and enjoy themselves. That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the whole point of this show is, don't be afraid to be into the stuff you're into just because, some other people tell you like, hey, that's you own a Lego store, that's so dumb. Why don't you grow up? I'm like, why don't you grow down? 'Cause who
Right?
cares? Who cares? I own a Lego store. I put my Christmas decorations up in July. Who cares? It makes you happy. And like you said, Jen, there's only so much time left on this planet to enjoy yourself. Do whatever you want to do that makes you happy. Like who
Oh yeah.
cares?
Exactly.
That's also a problem I have is I care too much about what other people think, and I need to just not do that because it's miserable.
It is. It's hard though. Like I don't blame you because
It is
there's
hard.
Oh, yeah.
it's this life is hard as it is, but worrying about what other people are worrying about with you. I promise they're not worrying about you, Chris.
Oh, I
It's
know, and
okay.
that's the bad part. It's just
I mean,
it's
we worry, we care about you, but like
you
it's
sure,
it's
yeah,
hard
yeah,
not
yeah.
to.
My head tells me people care more than they really do, and that's the
Oh,
problem.
we care. We care. That's what matters.
Yes, exactly. So speaking of the events you guys had, do you have any coming up that you can talk about?
Hmm. Yeah, so a huge day in November is Black Friday and Small Business Saturday.
Mhm.
And I'm the type that like when I was little, I was more excited for Black Friday than I was for like Christmas Eve because my mom would
Uh,
wake us up at like so early and we'd get in the car and like drive to Costco and like stand in line. And like I know you had an experience with like Tickle Me
Oh
Elmo.
yeah. Hundreds of hands grabbing at Elmo.
And
oh
he was the
my God.
tallest one, so he got it. And people were like jumping up there to try to get it. But
I
yeah,
remember that Christmas with Tickle Me
wasn't
Elmo.
that
Oh man,
so
that was
crazy?
so
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, things are a lot different now, but still, like that experience and like seeing the ads the Sunday before and like the doorbuster idea, like I
Mhm.
am so excited for Black Friday because I finally get to create that experience. So we're gonna have some doorbusters, some free stuff that's pretty great, and we're gonna have some awesome deals. And I'm excited to have like people be able to come here and have a resource to buy their kids Lego for Christmas because there's it's like to be able to have the options of the used sets or the minifigs. And we just bought some little gift boxes. And I don't know if you know this about him, but he's Mr. Christmas. Like we have like three
That's
different
awesome.
Christmas
oh
trees
yeah.
that we decorate differently every year. And so we're excited to decorate the store. But our
Gonna bring in
biggest,
the Christmas village. We'll put that up.
yeah,
All in
he has
Lego.
every single Christmas village in his collection.
The Lego's done. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be huge. We're gonna set up in the front window.
Yeah, so you can come and like the ZCMI windows that used to be down in Utah, you could like go
That's
and see.
awesome.
We're gonna have them all set up
Oh
here, but
man, I remember
all the
ZCMI.
Christmas stuff.
See, that's us
Yeah.
being old again. I remember ZCMI very,
You
very
do like
Oh
the
yeah.
candy windows,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
In the mall, we had a ZCMI in the mall here.
oh, yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
So fun. So that's what our upcoming events are all going to be around getting ready for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. And then into the holidays, we're doing everything we can to get our inventory booked up. So we have, a lot of options for gifts from anywhere between 25 cents for one of the animal things all the way up until if you want to buy the big crane, it's back up there at the top left-hand corner. It's a big
Very
boy.
cool. Very cool.
We got lots of stuff.
And probably a Christmas make and take.
Yeah,
We do have a designer, a Lego master that designs them for us,
Emily.
That's
Emily.
awesome.
So we'll do
And
one for
you,
Christmas.
and your
Yeah.
guys' speaking of your used sets are awesome because I have one.
Uh-huh.
I got
Wow,
this.
that's
I think I
so
got this.
cool.
I got this on the store opening, I think. I
Sweet.
added this.
That
This
is
is one
crazy.
I just added him on top. But yeah,
That is awesome.
it was super rad. It's Clayface from Batman.
Oh yeah, he's
But
great.
yeah,
That is awesome.
I saw that. I'm like, I have to have that. Gracie's like, do it. You know you want to do it. If you don't do it, you're gonna regret it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and come back. And if it's still here, then I'm taking it. And I came back later and it was there. I'm like, okay, I guess it's coming home with me.
There's a
Yep,
spot
yep,
for it.
yep.
I
Good to
kind
be
of
set
don't
up.
really, but I made one.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And yeah, speaking of pirates, Gracie just sent me the pirate SpongeBob and Patrick you guys just got, and she's like, "Do you want these?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I love Patrick Star so very
Oh,
much. I just have this thing with like the dumb character in cartoon shows.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
SpongeBob's not smart by any means, but just the dumb character like Patrick, just characters like that. I love them because I've got I think two Patricks, I think. I've got this one, the superhero
Oh
Patrick,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
and I have just regular Patrick right here.
Oh, that's great.
So I just have to add to my Patrick collection. Like I said, I collect like the weird random minifigs. Just
If it sparks joy, then do it.
absolutely.
A lot
Absolutely.
of people collect the food minifigs, like anything in a food costume. We sell out of those so
Oh
fast.
yeah,
I don't
like
know what it
Yeah.
is.
Santa, the
Yeah,
corn,
the pizza guy.
pizza guy.
Yeah, Gracie,
We'll have a food.
one of her favorites is the banana one.
It's hilarious.
She has a banana one. She has a one in a purple crayon. She has like the Triceratops one because she just got herself a minifig stand and she was putting them all on there. And
Oh, that's
she was trying to
awesome.
like color coordinate to make sure they matched on the right colors. And yeah, she's very proud of her little minifig collection. But yeah,
That's
it's
so cool.
pretty funny.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's some exciting stuff coming up. Black Friday is going to be good. I know I participated in a Black Friday once, and I think it was the most miserable of my entire. I didn't even know that. Like, I thought I was going to get crushed to death. It was so crazy. Like, I thought I was going to get stuck and never have to leave again.
Oh,
So I applaud all the people who take part in Black Friday. You guys are crazy, and
it's
that's
so fun.
awesome. That's awesome that you're that dedicated. Myself, yeah, I just can't do. I tried it once. My wife used to love doing it when our kids were little, and she would just go out and fight the crowds with people. But yeah, it's people get mean, and it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy the stuff that people get mean over.
yeah. It's Lego makes people crazy. So
Yeah,
I don't blame them. But it's going to be
it's
very
wild.
safe here, very controlled, very busy. But
Yeah, I
we'll make
know.
sure we're safe.
When I was younger, I worked at Subway, and I know on Black Friday people would come at like 5 in the morning, like knocking, or not five, like I think we opened at like 7 or 8, and
Yeah.
people would come at like 6, like knocking on the window, like, "Hey, are you open?" I'm like, "Sorry, sorry, can't help you."
Oh my
It,
God.
I made so many people mad because I'm like, I'm not open yet. Sorry. It
I
was
love Subway, Chris. I like that you told me that.
I
Awesome.
worked there for a long time,
You
and
did?
oh yeah, I did.
That's amazing.
It
Yeah.
it
What's
is
your favorite
until
Subway?
my
Do you
favorite
eat?
one. I do now. When I quit, it took a long time to go back
You'll
because
eat it again. Yeah.
you
The
know
smell.
Yeah,
you
the
know
smell.
this. So I was gonna say, when you leave Subway and there's that smell, and it's like, oh, it
Yeah.
smells so good. Except you work there for like 10 hours, and every bit of your body smells that way.
Oh
It's
God.
just like like your shoes, like my hat. This isn't the same hat I wore, but my hat would smell like it. Like just my skin
Oh.
smelled like it. My clothes. It was rough for a while, but no, I could go back now. I think my favorite one, I've got two that are
What
always
are
my
they?
go-to. One used to be called the Cold Cut Trio, but you can't call it that now because
It's the cold cut combo now.
it is the cold. If you
Yeah.
tell them Cold Cut Trio, they look at you like you have 5 heads. They don't know
Yeah,
what
it used to be
you're
the
talking about.
trio. I
Yeah.
remember the trio.
And the other one is it used to be called the Subway Melt with turkey ham and bacon and cheese, but now they
Mm,
call it, I don't even know what they call it now. It's the same sandwich, but it's a different name.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it it's funny that you go in there and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like just it's that one right there. Oh, you mean this one? Yeah, I guess. So it's weird.
You and I have that in common, Chris. It's my favorite Subway sandwich is the cold
It's
cut combo, cold cut
it's
trio.
it's so good. And I don't even know why, because it's just bologna, salami, and ham is all it
It's
is.
so
But
good. Oh my
I
gosh.
I don't know. It's so and I'm pretty simple. I just do like I used to do lettuce, mayo, and honey mustard, and that was it. But they changed their honey mustard, so it's kind of like a spicier hot honey mustard now.
Oh,
But so I'll just do mayo and lettuce, and I'll come home and put my own honey mustard on it because I got
smart.
honey. It's like it's so weird, but I've been looking for like this perfect honey mustard to kind of be close to that one. And I found just like the Walmart brand honey mustard is
Lord.
so good.
Oh,
It's
good.
so yeah, I'll
Well, I'm
just come
gonna have you
put my
make
own honey
sandwiches at
mustard
our
on it.
team party, maybe.
I
Sandwich
could
artist.
because I made a sandwich once and I took a picture of it and I showed Alicia, my wife, and she's like, "Oh, is that from Sandwich Tree?" I'm like, "No, I just made that in the kitchen." She's like, "That's incredible." I'll have to show you the picture because it's
Yeah,
real.
you should put it as part of this podcast, like an
Maybe I
overlay.
will.
You should.
I'll put like a sneak peek, like, hey, I just had this awesome interview. Here's a sneak peek of the interview, and I'll
It
just
could be your screen cap.
and people will be like, what's this about? I'm
Why
like,
are
oh,
they talking about sandwiches?
you just have to watch. I don't know. You just have to.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
So I've been told I'm a pretty good sandwich maker. Like the girls always want me to make their sandwiches from here. And I just
Wow.
recently, it's the weirdest thing, and I never thought of this even being a thing where so I watched the Weird Al movie with the guy from Harry Potter who was Weird Al,
Oh,
and he was making toasted bologna sandwiches. And I was like, I've been making sandwiches for a long time because I'm 40 now, and I never have once thought to toast my bread to make my sandwich at home ever. Like I've had toasted sandwiches at Subway and other places, but I've never
Yeah.
thought about it here. And if you haven't just toasted your white bread sandwich at home, try it once.
mm.
It's game changer. It's I don't know why. I don't know why,
Huh.
but it's so good.
Sounds
And
amazing.
I never realized how much of a difference putting lettuce on your sandwich at home made either, which is also kind of a weird
Oh
thing.
yeah, that crunch.
Yeah. You put the lettuce like
Oh,
I've
I
been
love that
making
so
I've
much.
just been making like ham sandwich with mayo or a turkey sandwich with mayo and that was it. But it's like I've been missing out on like lettuce and then you toast it, which adds a completely different level of everything to it. And I don't know what it is, but it's a game changer. So everyone out there, if you don't toast your white bread sandwiches, you should try it just once and just come tell me how it was because game changer.
Do
It's so cool.
it.
I love
Right.
that.
Right? Okay, so closing things up. So I usually interview a lot of creators, a lot of people who make stuff, and I usually will ask them, what's a bit of advice you want to give to fellow creatives? But I'm going to tweak it with you guys just a little bit. So, because I've asked this question to some other people, if you were to give a piece of advice on starting a business, what advice would you guys give?
Hmm.
What have you learned in almost a year of running your guys' own business? What would you, if someone was like, if I was going to go start a business or someone listening was going to go start a business, what is something you guys have learned that you could share with someone who's wanting to start their own business?
The first thing you got to do is envision it in your mind, know what you want to create, and then from there, get ready to work hard. A lot of
Nice.
work.
Yeah. It's like work from home at the next level where it never ends. And I've heard other people say this too, that just like you're always working. So you have to get really good at and really clear at what your boundaries are for when you take a break, when you uh, are saying, I have to step away from this because it can consume your life.
Make sure it's something you're passionate about, because if you're not, you'll be burnt out real fast.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about passion is like it's a completely renewable resource that never goes away. And you'll know pretty quick if you're actually passionate about it because if you didn't love Lego, I don't I don't know how we could have done this because it was like the light at the end of the tunnel after like putting up the fixtures or like finding a place to lease or like I don't know, ordering like you think, "Oh, I like to buy Legos." He has to buy a lot of Legos. It doesn't ever stop. And I think for me, it's really important that you and I hate the term manifest is I think overused a lot today where he's saying
Sure.
envision. It's like you have to talk about your business like it's already at the place where you want it to be. And so, like, when people ask us, how is business? Even if I feel like we're struggling in some place, I try to be like super positive about it and think
Yeah.
about the good stuff that's happening. And it actually works because, like, we had brick or treat here on Saturday just before Halloween.
Yep.
And Chris, like, it was like wall to wall people. And the way I kept thinking about it was like, we're going to be so busy. It's going to be so crazy.
Yeah.
And that's literally what happened. It was
Yep.
like,
I remember because I came and it was packed in there. Like I know Art, I
yeah,
talked to you for a minute, but you were like running all over the
Oh
place.
yeah, it was
And I
crazy.
know I know when I dropped Gracie off at work that morning, the fact that you guys already had a line up at the door was just Gracie was like, "What are they doing?" And I said,
Yeah.
We're just passing out candy and
"They're
bricks,
just
and I don't know.
they're just waiting."
And people
Yeah,
love Lego.
it
It
was
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah, so I think I've spent
Mhm.
a ton of time visualizing and thinking about like looking ahead, like what's next. And so like we have lots of amazing, exciting things planned that I can't talk about, but I
That's
can
okay.
say that as long as you're following along with us and we appreciate all the awesome support we've had so far, um, that it's just going to continue to get better. It's
Yep,
just the beginning. It's so fun already.
absolutely.
It's just like
Yeah.
this is a dream. It's so amazing. We love how excited people have been about all of it. So,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And I know, we've been talking about it just in town. Because we'll go to places be like, well, do you have any plans for the like, oh, because we're gonna go here to the Lego store in Ammon. They're like, there's a Lego store in Ammon. And I'm like, have you been living under a rock? Of course there's a Lego store in
yeah, there's
Ammon.
people that don't know we're
Every
here.
day.
Yeah,
First
Yeah,
time
every day.
I think
This
we
has only
talked
just begun.
we talked to like five people one day and they're like, there's a Lego store. They're like, yeah, you should go out there and look like out next to Papa Murphy's, next to Geraldine's, go and Ammon, go check them out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should
It's
go.
so,
And
so great. Thank you for that.
they're like, that sounds awesome. I'm like, yeah, so why haven't you gone already?
And they'll show up eventually. All roads lead back to Bricks and Minifigs.
It's true. And speaking of your advice about how crap, I can't remember now. I got off track. Um never mind. We're just gonna skip that part because I lost my train of thought.
That's
Um
okay.
so yeah, no, okay. So speaking of, all the upcoming stuff that's coming, um, where can people keep up to date with you guys so they can know when you're ready to announce the new stuff, where they can find you guys?
Yeah, so they can find us physically at 3160 East 17th Street here in Ammon. And then we're on social media. You can find us on Facebook by searching for Bricks and Minifigs Idaho Falls. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at BAM Idaho Falls. And we have a website too. It's bricksandminifigs.com/Idaho Falls -ID. Or if you just Google us, we do come up. If you have been into our store, we would really appreciate a review. Our reviews are the things that we really appreciate about when people come and they leave reviews and take pictures, and we're just blown away at the feedback that we get from people. And it reminds us that like this isn't just art, like getting a new job and being happy because he gets to play with Lego all day. Like the types of people we meet and the relationships we've built have really just like reinforced like, oh my gosh, like this is a really good thing for people. Like it's so fun to see kids come in and just like lose their mind when they first
Oh
walk
yeah.
in and
Walk
be
in the door
like,
and scream.
like their eyes get so big and like they're running around. And it's just like, that's the kind of thing that not very many people get to do in their lives. So, um, I'm just grateful that I'm in Idaho Falls have been so kind to us and welcoming. And we're grateful too, because it's like a dream and not everybody gets to do this. And we don't take it for granted ever. Every day we come home and we're like, it was like the best day ever because we got to do all this cool stuff and meet all these cool people. So
Absolutely. So yeah, for you local people who are old enough to remember the Kmart that used to be in Ammon, it's like right across the street.
I love Kmart. I
Right?
missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I
dad
got
worked
the glamour shirts at Kmart.
my dad worked there forever and ever, so I spent many a childhood day just going out to visit dad at work, spending time out at work because he worked there for like a million years. He worked at Kmart when it was over on the other on Broadway, and he worked there when it was out in Ammon up until, a few years before they closed. So everybody knows my dad either from Kmart or they know him from he used to work at Smith's for a few years before he passed away. So
Oh, sorry about
er,
that.
it's okay. But everybody knows my dad. Mostly from Kmart. So yeah, all the older people who are listening to this, if you know where Kmart in Idaho Falls used to be in Ammon, go check them out. They're right across the street. They're great people. It's a great store. It's a fun way to spend some time. And if you're anything like me, it's a good way to spend a whole bunch of your money because
Appreciate your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't help that Gracie's like, I have a discount. And I'm like, well, I guess you're gonna get more of my money that way.
Yeah, yeah. I see you put your sticker on. I appreciate that.
I did. Right there. There it
Yeah,
is.
it
Oh,
looks
there it
great.
is.
Right
Thank
there.
you.
Someone's
Right next
enough.
to the podcast.
Yeah.
Right next to the
Oh yeah.
podcast network.
We need to get you one of these.
I designed these myself. I already
I
gave him
have
one.
one. I have one. I just didn't have enough room on my bottle to wrap it around. I think I'm
Welcome
gonna
to the
either
club.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it
And
on
my
my
whole
laptop,
water
probably.
bottle is definitely adorned.
Yeah.
It's a good conversation starter.
Yeah, I've got that there. I've got the podcast network right
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
I've got Java, not Java Express, Dutch Bros.
Dutch
Oh,
Bros. Oh, I love
nice.
Dutch Bros.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Sorry, I just have this weird catch all of a sudden.
Oh.
Take your time.
There we go. Okay, so go check them out. They're great folks. And we need more stuff like Lego in our town because I remember when I first went to my first Lego store, it was in Boise, I think, or Salt Lake, one of the two. But I was like, we need something like this in Idaho Falls because I'm going to spend a lot of money there, and this is too far away to drive to spend money, and I don't want to do that. But now we're lucky enough to have two Lego stores in town, so it's super cool.
Yeah, we love
Getting
having
stuff
people
like
that
that.
love Lego here. It's really, really great.
It's so great. All right, so go check them out on social media. Go check out the website. Go check them out in person because it's a great store. Art, I think, has been there almost every time I've gone. Jen, you're there most of the times that I go, and my daughter's there, and she's awesome. So go check her out too. Um, you could also see her in some of the social media videos because she just loves being in videos.
Yeah, the one
Book
she
a
was
party
in.
and she'll host it for you.
Yeah. book a
Yes,
party. Oh, I will say if you book a party, you get this small cup of bulk. You get a free minifig stand. You also get a $40 Lego set, the flower pot or the
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. And you get 11 Build-A-Figs. So you get to build these guys. And then you get to race these cars or you get to do these cool little cupcakes for your activity. And we have a 20-foot racetrack. And Gracie, hopefully, if you're lucky,
You'll get Gracie.
she gets to work the party. And she is an absolute gem. And people request Gracie. So
that's
we
awesome.
want to have
And
the
yeah,
best party ever. It's
we
an hour and a
are
half and we clean up.
we are coming this weekend. We're very, very excited.
We're so excited too. We can't wait to
Very,
have
very
you guys.
excited.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
we're pretty excited.
It's gonna be the best party ever.
It'll
Thank
be
you,
awesome.
Chris.
Absolutely. And yeah, my daughter got the flower pot. She's very excited. She put it together, I think, in like an afternoon. And I'm like, you're
Nice.
8. I didn't know you could even do that by yourself. And
Yeah,
she was like, yeah, I got this. It's fine.
The
So
builder.
yeah, she's very excited.
we love that.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
for me, I want to thank Polygon Horizon. Their song Pizza Force is the one I use for the show. Go check them out on Bandcamp. It's an awesome song. So go check it out. You can find me at Fueled by Weird on Instagram and Facebook. You can also send me an email at fueledbyweird@gmail.com. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and now on the Spotlight Media GA app, along with the rest of the Stay Weird Network boys, the Nerdy Manroom show with Hassel and Monster, Hassel's Review, and Big Rob's House of Entertainment, and no Chinese food. Now, the Stay Weird Network, it's a brand new podcast network dedicated to bringing some awesome back to the internet. Check us out at Stay Weird Network on YouTube and Instagram, or send us an email at stayweirdnetwork@gmail.com. Also, I want to thank the Zone Collectibles in Tifton, Georgia. They're your one-stop shop for comics, collectibles, and so much more, and a big sponsor of my show and the Stay Weird Network. And if you like the show, please leave a review and tell your friends because word of mouth is my friend. And remember, kids, life's too short to be normal, so stay weird. Jen, Art, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
See you next
Chris.
weekend.
See you next
Absolutely.
weekend.
Absolutely.
Bye.